Trains still slow here. There is no station sign, no platform edge, no dot on the map. And yet, every weekday, drivers ease the brakes, just a little, as they pass this stretch of track in East London. Officially, nothing is there, but the city behaves as if something remains. If you stand near Stepney Green long enough, you begin to notice small hesitations, the way trains arrive with a gentler rhythm, the way long-time residents point vaguely and say, there used to be something there, the way old directions still surface in conversation, even when they no longer make sense. This is the story of a railway platform that closed in the 1960s and never fully left, not as a building, not as a name on a sign, but as a habit the network still carries, because closure on paper is tidy, closure in a living city rarely is. And what I want to show you today is simple. London can remove a place from the map and still keep it in motion. On paper, the story is straightforward. In the decades after the Second World War, London's transport network was under pressure. War damage in some places, duplication in others, rising costs, and changing travel patterns forcing hard decisions. In that era, rationalisation became a kind of housekeeping. Planners looked for redundancies, operators looked for places that slowed services down, and communities often discovered a closure only when the routine stopped happening. So, stops were removed, platforms were closed, diagrams were redrawn. In the mid-1960s, parts of the network around Stepney Green were simplified. The platform we're talking about disappeared from public maps. And officially, that was the end of it. But cities do not forget the way paper does. They forget slowly, unevenly, through habit rather than decree. And in railways, habit has a physical form, track geometry, signal spacing, sight lines, breaking points learned through repetition. Even when the platform is dismantled, those other things do not vanish overnight. So the closure becomes less like an ending and more like a translation. The place stops being visible and starts being felt. The platform near Stepney Green had served a specific purpose. It was not grand. It didn't ask to be admired. It existed to do one thing reliably: create a pause in the system. A platform is not only concrete and paint, it is timing, it is expectation, it is the small agreement between a train and the people waiting for it. When you remove a stop, you don't only remove a place to stand, you remove a piece of rhythm. Railways are conservative systems, not politically, but physically. Curves remain because straightening them costs too much. Signals remain where drivers expect them to be, because expectation is a safety system of its own. Breaking distances are learned through repetition, not through reading. So, even without a platform, the body remembers the pause. Drivers learn routes the way musicians learn a piece of music. They know where to soften the tempo, where the line wants to slow, where visibility changes with the season, where an earlier generation taught them to be cautious. And that is why you can remove a platform and still hear it, not with your ears, but in the way the train behaves. For commuters, the memory is quieter. Older residents still refer to the area by its former function. They say, near the old stop, or just past where the platform was. Newer residents don't question it, they absorb the phrasing. They inherit the geography without the explanation. That is one of the strangest things about cities. They teach you their past in fragments. Urban historians often describe closure as an event, a date, a decision, a line drawn through a name. But for people who live near infrastructure, closure is rarely a clean break. It is a fade. The timetable changes first, then the signage, then the expectation, and finally, much later, the memory. What makes this platform interesting is not that it closed. Many did. What makes it interesting is that behaviour around it never fully adjusted. If a place truly disappears, the city stops making room for it. But here, the city still makes room. In seconds, in breaking distance, in the softness of an arrival. It's not sentiment, it's operational residue. In planning language, efficiency is progress. Fewer stops, faster journeys, cleaner diagrams. But efficiency rarely accounts for how humans learn space. Drivers do not suddenly unlearn years of muscle memory. Passengers do not instantly rewrite mental maps built over decades. Instead, old rhythms linger beneath new rules. And if you listen closely in this part of East London, you hear it in the way people speak. A pause before giving directions, a correction mid-sentence. No, sorry, it doesn't stop there anymore. The word anymore carries weight. It admits that the past still presses against the present. Standing near Stepney Green today, you would not know what you were missing unless someone told you. There is no plaque, no outline traced in paving stones, no official marker. And yet, if you know where to slow, the absence has shape. This is not a story about loss. It is a story about continuity. Cities remember with habit. The corner shop taught a street to listen. This platform taught a railway to hesitate. Next time, we'll look at something even smaller, a single post box that quietly redrew a boundary between two boroughs and taught residents which side of a line they lived on. This episode is based on documented changes to London's rail network and publicly available historical sources. The behaviours described reflect operational realities and collective memory, presented through representative storytelling rather than verbatim accounts.